How many bags did you bring?
2 tons. About 16 bags. Your men have put them in.
Okay. We will pay you $30,000 for your produce. I mean, that's after the cleanups. To take out the dust, the stones, and the other nuts that are not good.
That's reasonable.
Good. Good. This man here, he is a lab technician. He's going to take a sample of the groundnut and conduct a test to make sure they meet the international standards and are safe for human consumption and for export, so we can have a good price for them.
Okay.
I think that's good. Please have a seat. I am sorry, but we cannot buy the groundnuts anymore. Test results show they have a high level of aflatoxin, well beyond acceptable maximum limits for human or animal consumption. And the international market will not accept this, not even for animal feed.
Afla what? What is aflatoxin?
Aflatoxins are naturally occurring toxins produced by a variety of naturally occurring fungi in the soil, decaying vegetation, hay, and grains. The fungi are common and widespread in nature, and under certain circumstances favorable to their development, foods and feed are contaminated with aflatoxin. The Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, estimates that 1/4 of the world's food crops are affected by aflatoxins each year. They are regularly found in improperly dried and stored staple commodities, including groundnuts, maize, rice, amongst others. Because of Africa's position in relation to the equator, favorable to the development of the fungus responsible for aflatoxin contamination, exposure to the unsafe levels of aflatoxins occur across much of Africa, and the Gambia is no exception due to its position as part of the Sahel. Long-term exposure of low to moderate levels of aflatoxins through the consumption of contaminated food and also occupational exposure. For example, by flour mill workers can cause liver cancer, growth retardation in children, immune suppression, and consequently susceptible to infectious diseases such as malaria and HIV. Evidence suggests that chronic exposure to aflatoxins may also lead to reduced uptake of nutrients from the diet by animals. The prevalence of aflatoxins is exacerbated by drought, pest, delayed harvest, insufficient drying, and poor post-harvest handling. To prevent aflatoxins contaminating your crops, there are several measures you can take. Containers to be used for collecting and transporting the harvested crops should be clean, dry, and free of insects and visible fungal growth before use and reuse. Consignment of crops should be protected from all additional moisture by using covered or airtight containers or tarpaulins. Avoid temperature fluctuations that may cause condensation to form on the crops. Avoid insect, bird, and rodent infestation during storage by the use of insect and rodent-proof containers and or repellent chemical treatments. You can get advice from your closest agricultural extension officers and plant protection services as to the safest ones to use. The continued cultivation of the same crop on the same land may lead to the increase in the probability of aflatoxin contamination. Irrigation to ensure adequate soil moisture during the last 4 to 6 weeks of crop growth should minimize pre-harvest aflatoxin contamination of the crops. Apply adequate fertilizer, manure to enhance plant vigor. No-till practices may be required in the interest of soil conservation. The seed variety can be important, and therefore, before planting, farmers should consult with the agricultural regional offices who have extension officers for advice. Care should be taken during cultivation to avoid damage to pegs and pods. A cultivar should be selected that is suitable for a particular growing season and mature at the end of the rainy season, so that post-harvest field drying can be done under favorable conditions. Plant early duration varieties to escape drought. Aflasafe is a safe natural solution to the problem of aflatoxins. Speak to your agricultural extension workers about this. Apply insecticide to control insects. Avoid overcrowding of plants by maintaining the recommended row of intra-plant spacing for the species or variety grown, bearing in mind that too high a population may lead to drought stress, where rainfall may be below the optimum required in a growing season. Select seeds to remove molded and shriveled ones before planting. Use effective weed control by use of registered herbicides. Contact plant protection services for advice. Ensure that bags are clean, dry, and stacked on pallets, or incorporate a water impermeable layer between bags and the floor. Leave a walking space between the bags and the wall to facilitate monitoring. Store at the lowest temperature possible, consistent with ambient conditions. Visually check crops for evidence of mold growth. Separate the apparent infected portions of the crops and send samples for analysis if possible. When separated, lower the temperature in the remaining crops and aerate. Fumigate the store before storage. Care should be taken to select all those chemicals that will not affect or cause harm to the crops. Contact plant protection services for advice. The agricultural regional offices, the extension officers can advise you on the appropriate varieties you should use. Remember, early stage aflatoxins are invisible to the naked eye, so make sure you seek advice from your agricultural research center before planting your seeds, and also contact them if you have any concerns at any stage of the growing cycle.
So, that is aflatoxin. By not properly preparing or properly caring for your crops, it has now cost you a potential $30,000. My dear, you need to do better next time if you want to make money.
I was planning to use this money to pay for my children's school fees, do some renovating on the house, and to sustain the family till the next harvest. Now I have nothing. It will be a very difficult year. But now I know about aflatoxin. I'll certainly take all the precaution to make sure that I do not lose money like this next year.
All is not lost. These crops can be used for alternative purposes. For example, contaminated groundnuts can be used to make soap, and the groundnut shell can be used to make briquettes to replace firewood.
That is useful to know. I'm sorry. I'll make sure that I will not be in this same predicament next year.
Very good. Remember, we also have the National Agriculture Research Institute, who offers aflatoxin testing services. That way you can monitor the crops and export them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.